to Talking Jump. Talking Jump. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Yes. There we go. Are we there? Welcome to Talking Jump. Talking Jump. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to a very special live edition of Talking Jump, coming straight to you live from the SoulÜtion Summit. You are here and you better be ready to do some emotional laundry today. We're here to teach you how to gain agency over your anger using the Hothead's Guide to Quieting the Chaos and Unleashing Your Calm. I'm your host today, Jason Melendez, but you can call me the Junk Guru. It is my absolute honor to be here, and I have to give a massive thank you to the incredible Cindy Stanford, Chief Visionary Officer of Aces Matter, for this opportunity and for creating this amazing space. Their vision, it's simple: to create a world where aces are understood, prevented, and healed. Now, if you've heard my podcast, you know it's usually just me and a microphone, but today is completely different. This is not just a podcast recording. This is a live community discussion. Think of it as a family meeting for our collective sanity. I'm your guide today. We're going to dive into the core ideas from my book, Shut the Junk Up. But this couch is not just for me. Throughout our time, I'm bringing up some of our other brilliant speakers from the summit to sit right here and chop it up. And we're going to talk to you. We've got mics in the audience as soon as the audience starts coming around, because this is about our shared stories. So let's get into it. I want you to think about your mind like that one junk drawer in the kitchen. That's your brain. Sometimes, right? A chaotic mess of old beliefs and emotional clutter. Today, we're going to dump that drawer out onto the floor and decide what's worth keeping. So how do we get this system? How did it get so messy? It starts with our origin story. For a lot of us, that's our adverse childhood experiences. Now, this isn't a sob story. It's a science story. Experiencing those traumatic events before the age of 18 literally rewrites your brain for survival mode. That anger, that anxiety, that's not a character flaw. It's a conditioned response that helped you survive. But now your alarm system, your amygdala, it's super sensitized, causing rage to hit like a complete breakdown. Now let's get into the mechanics of the wiring. Trauma is a survival override. It puts your rational brain on pause and makes you shift into one of the 4 survival responses. And this is how you build the inner junk piles. Fight and flight, it fuels the burning trash bags. Freeze and fawn builds that sealed off room and the illusionary clean spot. Now, if you've seen my podcast before, you've seen these defined characteristics, my traits from my book, my archetypes. Now, who recognizes one of these unwanted tenants? And be honest, seeing them and naming them, that's how you start charging them rent, because you can't fix what you don't acknowledge. Now, that's why we're here, right? Let's talk about the action. We're hitting the couch now with our confirmed speakers to get their tactical advice. I'm excited, really excited to kick off our guest interviews with a powerhouse in mental toughness. If you give me 1 second, we will be right back with our guest, Anthony McCullough. Stay tuned. We call this broadcast Gaining Agency Over Your Anger. What does agency mean to you in the context of personal development and healing trauma?
Wow. To me, it means being responsive, but not making sure that I'm not triggered by. And I know you're talking about the anger agency part, but just being responsive. Agency to me is being responsive. So
It definitely is. Now, my book teaches the sacred pause. How do you coach people to build that mental muscle to pause before they react impulsively?
oh man, Jason, being a mental health counselor at one of the largest prisons in North Carolina, I'm able to. These men have been through anger management before and those different type of things. I'm teaching them to take 10, count to 10 if you can. But most of the time, the action is already done
Right.
before the crime is committed, so to say. But that that pause thing you're talking about, for me personally, it benefits me to pause and think before I react.
Now, in my book, we call that the sacred pause. In my book, we have a toolkit, and in there is your remote for life. And you have to take that pause to clarify your mind through that moment. Um, when you in your work on mental toughness, what is the single biggest habit you teach people to stop their mental energy from being drained by their past trauma?
Wow. For me, that's being proactive and also remove the mask. And I know that's can be difficult sometimes because it was difficult for me until I recognized I had to come clean and tell somebody about what was going on. And I have a way of now helping those to be comfortable enough to release that energy of knowing that you're in a safe place to be able to do that.
Right. And when you said mask, in my book, we call it the illusionary clean spot.
Oh wow.
Now that because we like to think of the mind in my book as a hoarder's apartment. So your mind is a mess. A hoarder's apartment is a mess, but they always have that one clean spot. That's your mask. That's the thing you put on to
Mhm.
give the facade to everybody. How do you get them to not only give them themselves the courage to drop that veil, but how do you get them to actively work on them as they're trying to drop that veil? Because it's not just a drop. You can't just drop and be comfortable in your
Right.
skin.
Right.
You kind of have to drop and evolve into that.
Right.
How can you get them to be comfortable?
First of all, it's all about building relationships. In my mentoring program with my youth and as well as some of the adults I mentor in my peer support special, it's about the consistency because it doesn't happen the first time. And I try to build the mindset for anyone I'm dealing with to be in a growth mindset and keep showing up. Sometimes it's not gonna feel like you're not gonna want to be there. But you got to keep showing up, and the consistency of that, something eventually evolves from that transformation of showing up because you build trust and you start to begin to let the other person know that you have their best interests. And once that happens, the guards come down. The first time you got the person that'll sit there with their arms crossed, they're in defense mode.
Right.
And the consistency of showing up, like you said, in those moments, you begin to build a rapport. And I'm thinking, and Jason, I guess the overall consistency.
And consistency is key because
Yes.
without consistency, you really have a start and stop situation.
Right.
And that just it adds fuel to the fire.
That's right. Because in between, you don't know what's going on.
Right.
From the last time I saw you, and now we got to get back on the track of let's start over again, being consistent.
Right.
So yes.
And it doesn't you being a coach, if you get into that mentality of I need to start and stop, then it not only hurts the person's mind, but it hurts their pockets too,
Yes.
because you're starting the program over and over again.
Yes. Yes.
Now, I do want to thank you again for coming on and being our first guest. I know you have to hit the stage soon, and I don't want to take too much of your time, but I want you to look at the camera over here, give them everything that you'll be talking about today and where they can find you if they need you.
Okay. Well, my name is Anthony McCauley once again, and today I'll be speaking on substance use and abuse, dealing with mental health issues, incarceration, and prisoner pipeline, those type of things. Being a lived experience person, that I'm very forthright about my story now and sharing to others around the world of how to overcome those. Well, first of all, my topic today is dealing with the resilience of standing strong. And like I spoke of before, removing that mask and helping others from a standpoint of being genuine, authentic, and helping others. You can find me on all social media platforms. You can find me on YouTube. So just research Anthony McCauley. That's M small c big C AULEY, Anthony McCauley. Thank you so much, Jason.
Thank you, Anthony. And we'll be right back with another great guest interview for you. Stay tuned. Up next, I'm glad to keep the energy going and welcome a strong voice in our community work, Michael Allen. Michael, thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for allowing me.
Hey, the pleasure, as always, is all mine. Now, I'm sorry.
No problem.
The technical difficulties, we're always here. Let's jump right into your questioning here. My trauma and ACEs thrive in isolation. How does actively building a supportive community serve as an immediate antidote to the distrust and loneliness that trauma often creates?
Well, great question. And the brief answer to that is people need people, right? So the more you are in a circle of trust, have some friends and family, you begin to break down some of those stigmas of I can't behave like this, or this is abnormal, or I am abnormal. The more people that are around you that love and care for you helps you break down that and see that story that you're telling yourself isn't accurate. So connecting with people who love you, people who have similar stories as you do, help you realize that you're not the only person that's dealing with a trauma, a past event, and that you too can keep moving forward.
Now, a lot of the times we do, you're right, people need people.
Mm-hmm.
But at the risk of sounding a little cliche,
Mm-hmm.
hurt people hurt people.
True.
So how do you get into that mentality where you take yourself out of the, oh, that's just him kind of deal? You know what I mean? If you have to deal with these people, you want to deal with the people that aren't going to bring the poison back into your life. You want them to be the supposed antidote in your life. So how do you get into that field where you're taking it away from that's just them to holding them responsible for the person that they are?
Well, I think everything starts within. So the more we look within ourselves and learn who we are and what we have to offer, what our value is, the less we allow negativity or people who are not bringing the same type of positive energy into your life. So sometimes you have to make some hard decisions and say, is this person for me at this time in my life or not? And if they're not, then that boundary that you set because you have your own self-respect, your own self-love will help you move past that negative interaction. And sometimes that person who may be the negative impetus because of their environment, they start to see that you are walking in a different way, and they want to taste that. They want to feel that. And of course, your faith is always going to be something that directs you and guides you to a more right decision, a more right way of behaving. I'm a strong believer in reading the Bible and incorporating a lot of what the Bible or all of what the Bible is telling us to do. And it does speak a lot to relationships, but it asks you to start with yourself and then your relationship with God, with Christ, that helps you move away from things that are not of you. The Bible speaks to trying the spirits. So people have spirits. You have to know that you're dealing with a person who has a negative spirit. And if you maintain the high road, if you will, you more than likely you bring them with you. And sometimes relationships are not right now. But if you keep walking in the way in which God is directing you, you will then become more of an example for the person who may have some things that they need to work through, and that helps.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of God-fearing people, they believe in forgiveness.
True.
Where does it come a point in time where forgiveness is a limited thing to be passing out? Is it of God to be able to forgive and forget and leave it alone? Or do you keep putting yourself into the situation where you're forgiving over and over again, the same person, the same situation?
Yeah. Well, in the Bible, it speaks to, if you will, a number of times that you can be forgiven, 7 times 70, 490 times. If you look at your interaction with people, oftentimes you don't have that number of interactions with them. So you should continue to forgive. Now, do you forget? You probably don't, because things get recorded in our brains, but you learn how to manage those thoughts, how to separate your anger, if you will, or your hurt, because a lot of times forgiveness helps you more than the person that you are quote unquote forgiving. And the more that you can realize that, you begin to um, learn how to, if not forget, at least to manage that situation. Because as time moves on, so do those things that cause you whatever level of pain or suffering that you're dealing with, and they don't hurt as bad, as you continue to live and breathe and grow in your faith and understand that everybody makes mistakes, including yourself. So I don't think there really is a number of times that you should continue to forgive a person, or a number of times that you can stop once you reach that magic number for yourself. So you have to, again, know who you are and understand that that person made mistakes. You were past that. Speaking with them, knowing what the relationship is like, or what boundaries there are in the relationship, will help you know if you can continue in the relationship. In Ecclesiastes, it talks about, there's a time and place for everything, and that also includes forgiveness, and it also includes some form of forgetfulness with that person. You don't have to see them every day. That may sound a little cold, but not everybody is in your life for the rest of your life.
I get that part.
Yeah.
Now, in my book, the final stage of the drunk storing cycle is keep it clean, which relies on external accountability. How vital is an outside community for long-term consistency in managing your junk?
Oh, wow. I think that is extremely vital. I'll use your word, because we all have junk. We all have a story. I am not a perfect being, nor are you, nor are the people that you interact are perfect beings. So you have to understand that people's view in life is their view in life. And you're not necessarily in a competition to know who's more right and who's more wrong. You just have to learn to respect that person's experiences are what they are, and what yours happens to be as well. And again, back to that forgiveness and forgetfulness. Not everyone is going to be your BFF, right? And so you got to understand that and be okay with that. Judgment is a challenge. I do believe God is really the only one that's supposed to judge us, but we do have our own viewpoints. We do have our own opinions. So there's going to be some form of judgment. But you can't say because this person, drink alcohol, or this person smokes, that they're a bad person, because you got a beam in your eye, like the Bible again speaks to. How can you be such a hypocrite, if you're kind of, saying negative things about one person's sin or one person's junk, and you haven't really kind of cleaned up your own junk. So you got to look within first before you start casting those stones toward another person.
Absolutely. And that's the biggest takeaway from the human experience, right? Everybody gets their own views on life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, beyond emotional tools, what is the most important structural element your organization puts in place to ensure people maintain consistency in their healing journey?
Well, my organization is kind of twofold. So the name of my first company is called Surrender Your Hate. And then the second company came from that, out of a pledge that I call the Surrender Your Hate Pledge. And that company is called Let Life Live. And Let Life Live is a nonprofit, but both focus on gun violence prevention, gun violence reduction through conflict resolution. So the link is teaching people how to resolve conflict, how to recognize conflict, how to de-escalate a situation, which I'll be speaking to a little bit later today, managing that anger, learning to kind of let go, also understanding those boundaries and being able to, push back or get away from potential dangers. But if you aren't taught how to manage your own anger, how to manage conflict, then you may become part of the problem, because, where most people are from, if you yell at them or you come at them in a threatening manner, they're going to come back at you in the same threatening manner.
Fight or flight is triggered.
Yeah, fight or flight is real. So we have to kind of suppress that and understand that there's a greater outcome. Do you want to go home safely, or do you want to go to jail? So you have to make really good decisions in some split-second timing. So, but if you haven't learned how to manage your anger and to manage conflict without resulting or to violence, be it physical violence or be it with a weapon, then we're in some form of trouble. So my organization speaks to from youth to their parents, developing that plan early on of if someone bumps into you in the hallway, how do you handle that? You don't
Right.
start immediately fighting. Sometimes you just simply say, I'm sorry, and you keep moving. That helps you, learn how to manage difficult situations or things that are small nature. If I step on your toe, you might say, hey man, what are you doing? And I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't mean to do that. And it doesn't make me weak to say that I'm sorry.
Right.
So some of that is taught in the classes that I do on conflict resolution and de-escalation.
And I like that you said it. Different people come from different places,
Hmm.
so their temperament seems to be from where they're brought up.
Hmm.
Now, I don't want to take too much of your time.
No problem.
I know you are a very busy man, and you still have your whole spiel to get on stage with.
Hmm.
I want you to take a look at this camera here, and
Hmm.
all the people that may need help from your organization. Let them know where they can find you and what your message would be today on that stage. Because these people at home, they're not able to come here.
Yeah.
Some of them are all over the country watching you. Some are in other countries watching you. But you are here now with us. So let them know exactly where they can find you, where they can get your services, and if you do remote or live.
Okay. Thank you for that opportunity. Hello, world. My name is Michael Allen, and my organizations are called Surrender Your Hate and Let Life Live. You can reach me at www.surrenderyourhate.com, as well as www.letlifelive.inc.org. You can go on those websites, do the contact form, and we will reach back out to you. What I will be speaking to today is how ACEs affect conflict and how conflict resolution and de-escalation strategies can help manage your ACEs and help you make it home safely every day without the threat of violence or being incarcerated because you lash out. So we have to look at ourselves first and understand that there are methods and tools and that we can be the antidote, to use the term that we're talking about here at this session, that we're all antidotes or solutions to some of the problems. There is no one solution, but there are solutions, and you don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help from anyone that you trust or the organizations that are out there. Suicide, unfortunately, is a huge problem. You have suicide hotlines 988. If you happen to be thinking of that outcome, that is not the best outcome for you. People love you and they want to see you thrive. So reach out for help. You can start with my organization. You can look up on Google to find different resources that are available to you. But if you really would like to reach out to me, then those websites that I share with you is a perfect way to reach out.
Michael, thank you very much. I appreciate your time, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on that stage today.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. Stay tuned. We're going to hit a commercial break, and we'll be right back with Gene Terrace. We're going to talk about art therapy. Welcome back. I have my guest here with me. We are going to talk to Miss Jean Terrace about her neurographic art therapy. It was painting. It says painting on here, but we got it wrong. We're here to get it right. Thank you for talking with us today, Jean.
Thank you, Jason.
Now, I do want to jump right into another session. This is a key summit mission, and I'm glad to have you here with me. You help people process grief through art in the context of ACEs. How does the literal act of painting help us eternalize and heal with that inner pain?
That is such a good question. And first and foremost, I need to say that you do not need to be an artist to be in art therapy. And most of my best clients or patients that I work with have no experience in art before. So it is basically, if you can't find the words, you are releasing it through creativity. So it's not only painting, there are so many different mediums that you can use, but it is perfect, especially for kids. People always correlate it with children, but I've also seen it like flourish in the senior community as well. People who even struggle with different mental illness, but also like Parkinson's disease. You'd be amazed at somebody holding a paintbrush who has a shaky hand, but it's almost like seamless and it relaxes them. So my mission when I work with people is we all have the trauma and we're all coming into it with something. Sometimes we can't verbalize that and it ebbs and flows. And so that's what I bring. And it's relaxation and giving you coping tools. How do I release that from my body when it's so heavy and I don't know what to do?
So you almost let the brush or the pencil just speak for yourself, speak for itself.
Absolutely.
So instead of internalizing the thought, you just let the thought speak on paper.
There's usually a little guidance. I really just like to let my people go at it. So if I give them a directive or an assessment to work on, it's just kind of like breaking the egg a little bit. And then I just let it happen. So whatever way they want to take it, sometimes it's not successful. Sometimes people just don't know what to do with that. Other times there's reactions, which is amazing to work through with people.
Have you ever seen somebody's subconscious come out on paper without them even realizing that that's what they're internalizing?
So I have amazing stories about working with patients in a mental hospital, and my best patients are schizophrenics because they have so much like at once. And this release for them, they are amazing artists, and they have been some of my really amazing people. And actually depression is my next one. I would say people suffering with severe depression and how it comes out. And you would think it's all about colors, but it's way deeper than that.
Oh, I bet. Many people dealing with deep pain activates the sealed off room. How does art provide a gentle way to open the door without a person feeling flooded by their emotions? And I mean, when I say sealed off room, I mean that's everything that you repress. Everything that you feel like you need to keep internalized because it might spill out loud on everybody.
So there's no judgment. First and foremost is like we don't come in here to look at your product. This is about the process. And my best sessions are when you have that breakdown or you have the aha moments. And those are my proud moments, like proud mama moments, where they're not even realizing it's happening and it is coming out. And different things like clay. And you'd be amazed at what clay can bring out in people. And you think, oh, clay, Play-Doh, use it when you're little, but you don't get that same effect. And with the ACEs things that us as adults are realizing that we have, it comes out in that. So that realization going, oh my gosh, I checked off 7 on that list myself, it's coming out in different forms. And, in hindsight, it's like art has been my savior of my life since I was this big. And I am an artist, but I also know what it does, and it's so powerful for me. So that's why I love sharing it. I'm passionate about what I do and just happy to be here.
So did you just mention that you were an artist yourself? Did you go straight into art therapy, or was it just something you realized, hey, this works for me, so now let me bring it to the masses?
Thank you for asking that, because I thought I'd be a teacher. I did a BFA in art education, so I have fine arts, art education. I was doing my field work, and in my last semester, I'm in the classroom, and I'm like, oh no, I do not see myself retiring here. And I also found myself really honing in on the process, the kids coming in from recess, just like Tasmanian devils, and getting into the art, and it was quiet. And I'm like, that is what is pulling me in. And I immediately went into my master's. I have a master's in art therapy and clinical mental health, which really piggybacks. I love what I do.
Nice.
So it wasn't immediate. The art thing for sure my entire life, but definitely the art therapy was, yeah, figured it out.
When did you work ACEs into it?
Not long ago, got me to where I'm working part-time right now. I came across, I believe Crystal was actually there, and met them at a seminar at Central Florida Behavioral Health, where I actually do part-time. And I knew of ACEs through school, but didn't really know it. And the seminar blew me away. And I'm like, I need to get into this. And somehow through my channels, through my networking, I got to Cindy, and I was like, yeah, I get this.
She always pops up.
Yeah,
She always pops
does.
Your
Kinda
session
crazy.
focuses on paint, neurographic
Yes.
art through grief.
Yes.
What is one specific actionable prompt or technique from your workshop that someone can use at home right now to start their turning their pain into expression?
Okay, doodling. So I always say, do you ever remember you're sitting in class and you're just scribbling? So for me, it was easier to concentrate on what was being said to me and really hone in on it. So the doodling is releasing that tension, that stress, that boredom through your hands onto something else. That is like, it's magic. So I carry an art journal when I travel, and it's just something I do. Zentangling, which is another form of doodling, but it's just repetitive mark making. So if you can get into a rhythm of that, and there's a lot of communities online that you can follow for that, but it's just releasing through its pen, its marker, it's whatever medium. And it just brings you to a place of calm. So talk about practicing mindfulness. That is my trick.
Now, I never noticed that until you mentioned it. I do that myself.
Mhm.
If I had a pen and a paper now, I'm sure as I talk to you, I'd probably be doodling right here.
Mhm.
Is that something you see often with people? If they disassociate, they just start scribbling everywhere?
It's a distraction. I mean, these days you see more people on their phone, but 100%. And then I'll call them out on it and be like, see what you're doing right there? You don't even get what you're doing. And it can even be just making marks on your notebook, or, you get a piece of paper with something on it, and you're just kind of like, oh, I could draw this on this. So you don't even realize it, but it's kind of like a reaction. Like you're just maybe trying to find a way to really concentrate, or not. It could be the polar opposite, where you're just trying to tune out. But yeah, I think you'd be able to look back at your childhood and go, wow, I've used art a lot more than I give myself credit for.
Now, I don't want to keep you too long, so I'll give you one last question. Have you ever seen anybody connect to their doodling and realize that this is what made me feel this way, and that's why I reverted to doodling? So now I can open this bag and take a deeper look into why I'm actually feeling this way.
I use that a lot because I'm not an artist. I can't draw a straight line. I'm like, yeah, but you just did that. And I also love when they doodle and we turn the paper. So it's discovery. It's actually like they're finding images within that doodle that they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that. So I said, like, the aha moments are really what just drive me, because I'm also discovering them as well.
Right.
So it's like a learning process, but I encourage people to try it. And it's not just like, oh, let's get our paints out. No, it's way more than that.
And that's why we do it in a community, so you can have
Yes.
help with those aha moments.
Yes, for
Sometimes
sure.
something you'll say might trigger a aha moment in me, or
Mhm.
vice versa.
Absolutely.
So right now, I'll give you the opportunity. You could take a look at this camera here
Mhm.
and speak into it, the life into these viewers here, so that way they may eventually get that aha moment from this conversation.
Okay. So, first and foremost, if you are considering art therapy, I beg of you, please make sure who you're working with is credentialed. That is imperative. There are counselors that use art in their practice. I love that, but they're not credentialed. That means that maybe you're creating a piece that really needs attention. They're not going to know what to look for. So, first and foremost, please go on the American Art Therapy Association website and check us out and make sure that we have that credential.
Thank you, Jean. Art is the language for the feelings that have no words. Incredible. And we'll let you get ready for your afternoon session. Thank
Great.
you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with you. Welcome back. We've had some great guests so far. It's been a jam-packed morning, and we've talked about the why. Now we have to get to the how. Are you ready for the tools? Let's jump into the trash toolkit, right? How amazing was this lineup so far, right? Before we get into the trash toolkit. And let's just give them another round of applause from you guys out there in the audience. You guys, not the ones here that you don't see because they're in the workshops. There's a bunch of workshops happening around us. You're the audience I'm talking about. Give them a round of applause. Now, you know the why, like I said. Now here comes the how. So welcome to your trash toolkit. These are the gadgets for your mental utility belt. Yeah, you're going to be Batman today. Pull that utility belt out. This is your brain's pop-up blocker. A trigger hits and the rage ad pops up. Instead of clicking it, you just pause and breathe. The sacred pause is that tiny, powerful window where you reclaim your agency. It's like realizing you hold the remote control for the chaotic broadcast in your mind. We've all seen the movie Click. Adam Sandler had it right. Let's try your reset button. Square breathing. Breathe in for 4. Hold it and let it out for 4. Boom. You just blocked that pop-up. That is your internal pop-up blocker. Those 4 seconds a piece for breath in, pause, and breath out is going to help you de-escalate. It's going to help you self-soothe, right? So you've paused, but you still feel that energy coursing through your veins. You need to change the temperature. Your system's flooding with stress hormones, and we need to turn the central AC on for your mental. My favorite trick, the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. You look around, you name 5 things you can see actively right now, 4 things you can physically feel, and so on and so forth. It sounds simple, but it's a Jedi mind trick you play on your own brain to yank you out of that emotional hurricane and back into the real world. Now, this is where you go to war with the swarming pest. Your thoughts are liars. They are dramatic. Worst case scenario drama queens. You have to become the fact checker of your own mind. When your brain says, everyone is mad at me, you hit it back with, is this 100% true? Or just how my emotional system feels right now? Find the real story. Now, in just a little while, we're going to do a little bit of a midday reset. Get our bearings together, do some shoulder rubbing, get a little bit of lunch in our system. This is going to be the lunch and entertainment hour, and the rink is buzzing because what a morning we've had. Now, right about now, I believe Anika Allen should be on the stage. She's getting everybody moving with an icebreaker, and you do not want to miss the spoken word performance from Antoine Henry coming up about 12:40. But right now, this is your moment. I want you to do a quick self-check. What's the story feeling like? The piece of shame that you've been crying and carrying out that you're ready to put down today. You don't have to share it. Just name it for yourself. Acknowledge it. That's right. That right there, that's the first step in the junk sorting cycle from my book. And it's about identifying the junk, all of it, the swarming pests, etc. So you can then name and sort it, the root cause, then toss it or repurpose it. And finally, you need to learn to keep your mental apartment clean. Enjoy your lunch, connect with each other, and we will be right back soon. Welcome back to Talking Junk, and I want to kick this rapid fire segment with a fantastic facilitator who helped launch this event this morning. Sam, thank you for joining us. And as our host, you're the one who keeps the whole mental apartment complex running smoothly. And thank you for stopping by. The key to clarity, right? First question I want to bring up is, as an MC and a facilitator, you control the energy of the room. My book discusses the junk sorting cycle. How does intentional communication serve as an immediate antidote when tension or anger starts to build in a group, or when the conversation begins to spiral?
I love it. And hi, and thank you for having me. I think it's just being really intentional and deliberate with your communication, knowing that everything is backed by love and just really being authentic. So, like in a high energy environment with a lot of moving parts, everyone's there and they're in your corner. Everyone wants to see everybody else win, but they can't help if you're not clear on what it is you need, you
Right.
know?
And let's take that time right now with what you said to just calm down for a second.
Right.
Everybody was just here. We kind of got this going a little quickly, so I didn't even give you time to say hi back.
That's okay. I'm here and hi. I'm happy to be here.
My book, it discusses the swarming pest. That's a anxiety-driven intrusive thoughts. They can derail any conversation. What is one quick trauma-informed tip you use to help people physically and mentally ground themselves before they speak or take action?
Honestly, to pause. For real pause. Not tell myself I'm going to go take a pause and then just go distract myself with something else. Just take a really mindful minute, like pause. And pause, and the only thing you don't pause is your breath. Because when you stand or you sit in just a moment, you find your breath again. Right? And I noticed that for us, for those that speak or perform comedy or have any sort of, outward narrative, when we don't speak from our diaphragm and we don't breathe, we're winded. So we lose the ability to inflect. And so, in fairness, it was a struggle for me at first because I'm quick and I'm like, I want to go, like my energy's high. But I don't realize that, like, that neutrality, kind of like your car, then you can gun it and like you have enough wind in you. Right? Does that make
Right.
sense?
No, it makes perfect sense
Yeah.
because you don't understand how your breath is affected by everything.
Right.
And just as anger, for an example, when you get angry, most people hyperventilate.
For sure.
And you don't notice you're hyperventilating. It's
Right.
just your body kicking it into overdrive. I'm glad though that you said the pause, because that's one of the things that I promote in my book is the sacred pause. Now, the sealed off room, it's a common trauma response where people emotionally withdraw from the situation. As a facilitator, how do you gently signal to someone that it's safe to return to the conversation without pressing her or to share or violating her privacy?
I think what I personally do is I try to keep it at me if I'm sharing something that's personal, and I'm very, very deliberate in my language choice or the words I choose to not use. So then in some cases it's more I statements, not we. I don't enroll everyone in my cause necessarily, but I find that when I authentically share and keep it at me, it's almost this unofficial permission slip for people to go like, oh, I relate. And in the same breath, when we share something that might shift the room, even for a moment, to a place that's introspective or invites them to, it might sting, pausing again and just kind of letting it resonate a bit. And you notice that it's like the conductor of something. I really believe in high energy, but I believe in a regulated nervous system. I have this idea that anything I touch gets to have a neutral charge, but on the outside, it looks like it's supercharged. It looks like it's on steroids. But
Okay.
our exchange gets to be this really chill. And it took a long time to get here. But I think it's really important in spaces like this, like ACEs, or like the conversations your book brings, is really just to create a safe space. Keep it at yourself so that we don't project perhaps our circumstances on others. And in some way, you're just kind of a catalyst to a bigger conversation.
Right. Right. Is where the community comes in.
Right.
Now, my book does teach that communication should be a tool, not a weapon. How do you coach people who are prone to the bursting trash bag? That's what I call sudden rage. To use clear I statements, like you just said, to set those boundaries rather than using their words as accusations.
So I'll speak about myself. I believed for the longest that I was a really great and clear communicator. And I didn't, I guess, give enough power to the fact that spelling is defined by casting a spell. And so your words are literally declaring something. And I figured out that generally speaking, for me, when I would have that, it would be madness. That was my internal madness projecting. So if I didn't withdraw, and it is a pause, but it's a different pause. It's not always appropriate to just get up and walk away, right?
Right.
It's hysterical to think about it, but it's not always appropriate. And so it's just being okay with a quiet moment, or just saying, allow me to gather my thoughts.
Right.
And also avoiding declarative statements that put a diagnosis on someone, or that are projecting, you. If I feel unheard, that is a truth about me. It actually, I love statements like that because I'm a little sarcastic, and by definition, you can't argue them. Like, they're mine. They're not
Right.
for you to dispute,
Right.
and just really keeping it at yourself. I also find that more than likely in a dispute like that, the other party equally feels, in this case, unheard or misunderstood. And maybe your ability to communicate allows them to see more clearly where you could have shown up better, or what they need.
Right.
It's that dichotomy of the inner kid, the inner child within the adult body. And it's just like, I don't know, in my mind, I think I'm 7. I act like it though.
You're not
so
the only one.
It's okay.
Now, just a quick question for professionals. When you're a life coach or any coach, when you're being taught to deal with your clients, you are taught to keep those I statements away from your sessions.
Mhm.
How can somebody draw their client in without using those big I statements?
I would imagine, and it's something that is personal to me. I actually shared it previously when we did that fireside chat. I think it's important to posture yourself as the subject matter expert you are, but to also understand that you too are a subject and you can continuously learn. And perhaps a client, a prospect, in many cases, even a friend, case study. We do have some similarities. Maybe you've heard or worked with someone, or have they ever considered this or that? I agree with maybe not necessarily leveraging the I statement when working in a professional sense, because we don't want to, again, project, and it's not about us.
Right.
But I think a play on words is in truth, some of us have chosen our professions because once upon a time we were our best client, right?
Right.
And I feel like it's almost a divine alignment. Like, you had to go through what you had to go through to be the subject, to become the subject matter expert, to then pay it forward. Right?
Absolutely.
And so then if I take the I out of it and I just happen to be a case, not that it's transactional, but instead of calling it a testimonial, a case study is a little bit more scientific. And I think I feel strongly about just sharing experiences, saying a client, hey, I was a client of my own once. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's not a lie, but I agree, because it's personal. And when you're creating and holding space for a client, it has nothing to do with you. You're a guide. You're just there to guide them.
Right. Thank you for putting that image in my head, because I never thought about it like that. It's definitely eye-opening. The final stage of my junk sorting system. It's been a long day. It's to keep it clean, which relies on strong boundaries. What is the most crucial rule that you establish, and how do you model or enforce that boundary to ensure that the healing space remains safe and clean for everyone?
The truth, my sobriety. So my journey in sobriety, to keep it short, I was spiritually intervened last January. I didn't go into treatment. I'm not suggesting I wouldn't have. I work with treatment centers. They're amazing. I just didn't need to, or I hadn't yet. I chose not to, whatever the language is. I believe I heard God say what was said, and I am in a much better place since. But I realized for me what sobriety means. Sobriety to me has nothing to do with abstaining from anything, whether that's sugar, alcohol, drugs, or Netflix, okay, or salt, whatever you abstain from. It's more about my chosen state of mind, and my thoughts get to be sober, and my body language gets to be sobering, and I just get to move in a way that brings about sober thoughts and feelings. And as a result, that's what I can then project, even in my highest state of excitement. Sometimes I'm equally excited as I might be upset, and they can have the same charge. And I realize, for me, not growing up in a space that even warranted or allowed for this, or even knew what it was to be sober, not because they used any substances, which is wild because I didn't grow up in that. I grew
Right.
up in a substance-free environment. So I joke, I'm like, they were just out of their minds. I don't know what to say, right? I have no excuse. But for me, it's so important that I harness my sobriety and what it means to me as a chosen state of mind, and it bleeds into everything because the opposite's true. So when I wasn't of sober mind, when I wasn't of sound mind, it also bled into everything.
Wow.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's radical responsibility and accountability, but backed by so much love. Like I hug myself like I would a 7-year-old.
And it's a must. We got to give
Yeah.
ourselves that soothing relief that
Mhm.
only we can bring ourselves.
Yeah, I'll pair on that for those that struggle with anything and they have this language of cope. I'll just give it to you quick. A baby cries and needs to be changed, fed, washed, or hugged because they need to be regulated in their nervous system. They need to learn to self-soothe. That has nothing to do with coping. It is the neutrality of your nervous system, and that's what I think my biggest call is to really find a space of neutrality that isn't manufactured.
Wow.
Right? We escape on vacation. We're always escaping. I was always escaping.
Right. We always throw it off into the sealed
Right.
off room.
Right. And so for me, it's like I'll put myself in timeout 10 times a day. I have no problem.
Sometimes timeout is the best thing.
Yeah.
Now, I put my mind on timeout a couple of times during this broadcast. But what you said a question ago, I was just talking to a young member of their production team about, and he asked me, how did I even get into this? Before I let you give your message to the camera, it kind of goes with what I'm saying now. I, like you, don't like to go out and seek the help that is needed unless I can take it and use it for everybody else.
Mm.
So let these audience members know here where they can find what they need from you to learn and get themselves to that higher level and be able to help their community.
So, I mean, from a tactical sense, you can follow me on Instagram at Sam W. Ganem. It's spelled SAMWGHANEM. So that's at Sam W. Ganem. I just created my YouTube channel, I Am Sam Ganem. But I will say, what you can do to receive nuggets from me that can support you is by showing up for you. Truly, it's one step, and version 1 is better than version none. So trust that if you feel a gap, if you feel a calling and it's eating you alive, you are losing your mind because something is just unjust, or you do not feel that you can show up in service, or you feel that something is lacking, I ask that you perhaps consider an invitation to fill the gap that you see. So if you lack a best friend, be your own best friend. If you lack a companion, become your own companion. And you will find in droves what will mirror you. And a lot of that is on my Instagram channel. And so is my stand-up comedy. So I also invite you to laugh at yourself so hard that it hurts, because life is the serious, most funny engagement that we will ever engage in. And I will just tell you with the utmost transparency that comedy saved my life.
Wow. I think a comedy is the greatest thing out there, especially for mental health. And thank you, Sam. And intentionally, this is the key to clarity. When you're managing a chaotic room or a chaotic mind, you need that focus. You showed us that being a great facilitator is just another way of being an empowered landlord of your own space. Give it up for Sam.
Thank you so much.
Now, we are really going to go on a quick lunch break because while we're here feeding your minds, we got to feed our stomachs. But I'm telling you now, don't go nowhere, because if you leave, we're coming at you. We're coming back for you.
Amazing. Amazing.
Tired of constant negative self-talk? Shut the Junk Up is the hothead's guide to quieting the noise. Take back control, unleash your calm, and start your journey to a happier you. Grab your copy now. Tired of constant negative self-talk? Shut the Junk Up is the hothead's guide to quieting the noise. Take back control, unleash your calm, and start your journey to a happier you. Grab your copy now. Tired of constant negative self-talk? Shut the Junk Up is the hothead's guide to quieting the noise. Take back control, unleash your calm, and start your journey to a happier you. Grab your copy now. Tired of constant negative self-talk? Shut the Junk Up is the hothead's guide to quieting the noise. Take back control, unleash your calm, and start your journey to a happier you. Grab your copy now. Tired of constant negative self-talk? Shut the Junk Up is the hothead's guide to quieting the noise. Take back control, unleash your calm, and start your journey to a happier you. Grab your copy now. Tired of constant negative self-talk? Shut the Junk Up is the hothead's guide to quieting the noise. Take back control, unleash your calm, and start your journey to a happier you. Grab your copy now. Tired of constant negative self-talk? Shut the Junk Up is the hothead's guide to quieting the noise. Take back control, unleash your calm, and start your journey to a happier you. Grab your copy now. Tired of constant negative self-talk? Shut the Junk Up is the hothead's guide to quieting the noise. Take back control, unleash your calm, and start your journey to a happier you. Grab your copy now. Tired of constant negative self-talk? Shut the Junk Up is the hothead's guide to quieting the noise. Take back control, unleash your calm, and start your journey to a happier you. Grab your journey to a happier.
Pretty good, dude. I'm very pleased, man.
Yes. Oh, no. I'm sorry. What is that? What? Instagram. Everything's Talking Junk Network.
Tired of constant negative self-talk?
Let me go run in there real quick, see what I can see. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Listen, we need to sneak over. Yep. We're going to head over here real quick and see where these speakers are talking from. We're going to sneak in because, we got our own set over here in another building. So we're going to see while everybody's on lunch, or while we're on lunch, rather, we're going to run over here and we're going to sneak in and find out what's happening. Thank you guys again for joining us, because this is a great opportunity for you to come and enjoy what we have going today. I know you guys are coming from different parts of the world right now on this stream, and you can't necessarily be in Longwood, Florida. But the best thing about it is we can. And we're here, and we're going to take you inside here just so you know what's happening. Because what is the point of going live from this wonderful event? You guys are just going to look up. All right.
No rush at all. Okay.
Look at this. See what we got going on here? It's beautiful. Hey, how's it going? Workshops happening, professionals mingling. It's beautiful. See, this is what it means when you have a community to help your mental. It's lunch break now, so it's not too packed. You can get a sense of everything we got going on today.
There's the podcaster. Right there, baby, right there.
See all these tables here. It's amazing. I don't mind at all, but we are live right now on YouTube. Say hi to everybody. And there is the woman of the hour. What's your channel? Talking Junk Network. Yes, sir. We've been live the whole day from the SoulÜtion Summit. Talking aces. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you guys are here for? Healing.
I'm a certified
What's your name? I'm Jason. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Tim. My name is Felicia Walker. I am also on YouTube by Jason. Right. I am also on YouTube commissioned by God. So I do faith-based content as well as I am a financial advisor. New into the field, but I am appointed by God to do this work.
Hey, I hear you. I'm new to the field too. I just got my life coach certification too with anger management. Got a book out, so we're all here to spread the word, spread the message. Thank you guys for your time. I hope maybe we can get you guys into the next building and get an interview in with you guys.
Yes, I would love that.
All right.
Let's go.
Sounds good. I'll see you guys later. Thanks. Hi. How are you? We are live on YouTube right now with the Talking Junk Network. We're doing interviews in the next building, but I wanted to come by these tables so the people all over the states and all over the world that are watching at home and can't be here know what you guys are doing here. Okay. Memoirs of a Queen. Go get your copies today. It's beautiful, and they come in these packages here. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Remember y'all saw me a minute ago? This is memoir. This is talking about overcoming pain into purpose. I am in my purpose. Yes.
Yes, and the only way you're gonna live in your purpose is if you go get that book. Go pick it up. Pick it up. Thank you for your time. Hello, my name is Jason. I am with the Talking Junk Network. We're doing a live stream. We're taking some interviews over there, but I wanted to come into the main stage and give you guys a chance to give your message to the audience.
Thank you. I'm Tashawn. I'm a holistic health nurse. I teach insulin resistance and metabolic health. I've been doing it for over 20 years, and my goal is to help people reverse their type 2 diabetes.
Gotta reverse those diabetes.
Not lifetime. The type 2 diabetes. I've written 2 books. I've worked with craving. That's a sugar detox, 21-day detox, and gram. And then I've written sugar defective. It talks about how sugar affects every system in your body, and it gives ways to natural reverse type 2 diabetes.
Go and purchase those books.
Thank you. I'll be speaking at 1:20.
Sounds good to me, and I'll be there to see you. Thank you for your time. Ladies with Chapters, how you doing? I'm Jason Melendez. I'm with the Talking Junk Network. We're here doing the live stream, taking some interviews next door, but I wanted to come into the main stage and give you guys a chance to talk to the audience. How you doing?
Ladies with Chapters is the name of the nonprofit organization, and essentially it's about women empowerment and being in Central Florida more specifically. So today we are featuring the journal that was here, as well as a guide for women. And the last thing is my mother, who's the founder, she hosts this vision board parties, and essentially we're just featuring some of the books that come with that package. And essentially she's just all about empowering women and helping them share their story one chapter at a time.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much for your time. Have a good one. Moving on over. Her silence enslaved her. How you doing? I'm Jason. I'm with the Talking Junk Network. We're here doing the live stream for the summit. We're next door taking interviews, but wanted to come in here during lunch and give you guys the opportunity to say hi to the audience.
Hi, I'm Katia. I'm the author of Her Silence Enslaved Her, and I'm also a social worker. Basically, the book is about my life story and how I moved from trauma.
All right, so we got to go ahead and give all the information out there. Go get this book, hear her memoirs, and see exactly why her message is must hear. Thank you very much for your time. We seen Reverend Michael earlier. 30 Days of Surrender, Respecting Life Every Day. Go get that book now. Again, like I said, man, we're just here. We're mingling with people. We'll go over to the other side and see what's going on with. Look, see, this is what we're dealing with here. See, our weekly podcast got to step it up. Because look at this here. Look at this production. Wonderful production. Look at this. The man behind the camera doing his thing. Oh, you cannot beat it. You cannot beat it. Hey, hey, hey. Sorry. All right. See what we got here. How's it going? Jason, I'm with the Talking Junk Network. We're doing a live stream for the summit. We're next door taking interviews, but I wanted to come by the booth and give you guys a chance to say hi to the audience, give your message.
So this is my daughter. She's 16 years old. She has affirmations coming books to build up real self-confidence. So affirmations, what we say during the morning time, we say it during the daytime, and we say it before you go to sleep to build up real confidence so that when they become adults, they have better self-esteem and not going down the wrong paths.
Amazing, amazing.
Hello.
There we go. Say hi to the audience.
Hello, I'm Summer Strawberry. I'm the creator and author and illustrator of these affirmation coloring books for girls' confidence.
Now, Miss Strawberry, I don't know if we'll be able to fit you into the interviews that are happening next door, but I am definitely going to try to get your guys' information. I got to have you on the podcast. This is amazing. I got a 16-year-old daughter myself, a 10 and an 8-year-old daughter. This right here is tantamount for their upbringing. So thank you for this. Perfect. And go pick up all her stuff. Click these links here.
Yeah, the website is actually right here. ColorStrawberry.com.
Go now. Pick up these books, man. Affirmation color books. Perfect. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. How you guys doing today? We are with the Talking Junk Network. I'm Jason. I'm the host. We're doing interviews across the way, but we wanted to come in here and give people at the booth some time to say hi to the audience. So you guys are just here with the Seminole County Sheriff's Office?
Yeah, so we're with youth services, so we do a lot of kind of case management work.
Okay.
Working with families and youth resources. So it can be like counseling.
So like outreach programs.
Things like that.
Okay. Directly tied to the sheriff's office?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Now, where can they get to take advantage of this stuff?
So if you go on the Seminole County Sheriff's Office website, if you go, there's like a youth services area under the departments and such. And then if you're looking at it, it gives information about the different services we have. And then if you're interested in filling out a referral, then that's going to be near the other page. It's going to say, kind of like resources to submit a referral phone number. So just click on that to make a referral.
All right. Perfect. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
So we appreciate it.
If you guys need help in Seminole, be sure to hit the Seminole website and get that help taken care of. A bunch of stuff here. How's it going, man? Jason Melendez. We're here with the Talking Junk Network. We're taking care of the stream for the summit. We're doing interviews next door, but I wanted to take this time and come to see you guys in the booth and give you time to speak to the audience. What are you guys out here doing here in this booth? What you got going on?
My mom's business, Bob's Wellness Group, as well as
Nonprofit for saving people?
We do
Mental health. Okay. Meditation. And there's a lot of good stuff on the table here. Okay. So you do business retreats and everything too? Nice. Do you travel or do remote sessions as well?
We do travel, so we've done retreats all the way in India, Scotland, Peru.
Oh, wonderful.
We go all over the place.
Now, where can they get this information?
We go to BobsWellnessGroup.com. And there's cards right here. Nonprofit.
Definitely go donate. It's for a great cause. Thanks for your time, man. I appreciate it.
What's it?
Jason. Pleasure's all mine. Thank you. Yeah, man, this is the best place you can be right now is in Longwood, Florida. Right here next to me. Look at this, man. Look at this stage. Look at this. This is where you want to be. Right there on stage. Now I know you're a little tired of seeing my mug so close up. I'm gonna go and put something in my stomach. Stay tuned because we are not done. We are not even close to putting a pin in this. But even when we are, when this broadcast is over, the summit is not. The summit will go on for a couple of hours after the stream. So be sure to stay tuned because you never know who's going to pop up or what is going to happen. Welcome back. We're kicking off the afternoon with a bang. I'm thrilled to welcome a powerhouse who will just be finishing up her final set in just a second. Author and advocate, Ketia Valancourt. Ketia, thank you for stopping by today.
Hi, thank you, Jason. I'm so super excited for this opportunity.
Hey, the pleasure is all mine. Now, you speak with such passion about finding your voice. For someone listening who's been silenced by aces, what is the first elemental step that they can take to control their own narrative?
So I would say the first step is being self-aware of who you are, your emotions. You want to make sure that if you know who you are, if you know like your foundation and like everything like that, I feel like that's the first step. Like understanding what your triggers are, understanding what gets you upset, what gets you mad, or what what makes you depressed, or what makes you just want to scream, right? Because I feel like once you know that part, it will help you to navigate like, okay, maybe I can figure out like, okay, like I figure out what healing process I need to go to, or like if I need to see a therapist, or if I need to take outside, go on a walk to help you just manage your emotions.
Okay, so you just basically have to align with yourself to figure out what you need in any specific moment.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, my book discusses the sealed off room. And by sealed off room, I mean this is the place where we kind of regress everything. This is where we put everything to lock it away. How does the act of sharing one's personal story like you do help to gently open the room and let the light in?
That's a really, really, really good one. So like personally, like even myself, or like someone who like let a lot of build up, or like I'm always like so closed in, it was so hard for me to even release my book, Her Silence Enslaver. So like even like you just have to take that first step. You just have to get out your comfort zone, like in order to grow, you have to like get out your comfort zone. You have to take that first step, because we're always on our mind talking about, I don't know what people are going to think about me, or I don't know if people are going to actually learn, but you just do it. You never know. All you need is one person, just touch one person.
Right. You see, you got to, though, in my book, those things you just spoke about, we call the swarming pests, and they're everywhere. Those intrusive thoughts just buzz by.
Yeah.
You got to shut them up somehow.
Yeah.
Now, as an advocate, you see how cultural background shapes healing. What specific challenge do you find is most common when people from marginalized communities try to find their voice within systems that have historically silenced them?
That's a really, really good one. So I am Haitian American, and like a lot of times where like my parents, we're so used to, in that culture, we're so used to like, we always have to listen to what our parents say. Like, we have to like know, like the parents is like, this is the way you're supposed to go through life. Like I know growing up, they always say like become a doctor, a nurse, or go to school. That's it. But like you have to like step out of that. Like that's really hard. So you have to really step out of that and be like, okay, no, I don't think I want to do that per se. But it's kind of like it's a hard kind of balance, because you want to respect the culture. Like I wanted to respect the culture, but I also want to find my voice and my different passion, so that's why I went into social work, because I'm like, okay, I can still respect, them. I did went to school, so I've been going to church. So I think I did a good part of respecting the culture and things like that, although I didn't fit the narrative like being a doctor or a nurse or things like that.
Not many people fit a narrative, especially when the narrative is written for you already. Your destiny is never predetermined. So for your roots, or your aces rather, to write those foundations for you, that's exactly why you're saying you need to break out of that comfort zone. You need to get out of that sealed room, and you need to find exactly who you are, because sometimes those false idealizations are the ones that are holding you back. Now, I know you have to rush to go to your seminar.
Yes.
First and foremost, I want to say you were great.
Thank
you have
you.
no worries on being nervous for anything.
Okay.
Shake it off.
I'm shaking it off.
Now that you shook it off, look at this camera right here. Tell them where they can find your book, where they can find your message, and receive all these positive affirmations you're giving out.
Okay, so I'm Ketia Valancourt. You can find me on Instagram with Life Within Her. My email address is lifewithinher@gmail.com. You can also find me on Facebook and LinkedIn, Ketia Valancourt, Ketia. My last name Valancourt, Valcourt. And you can find my book on Amazon. You just have to type in Her Silence Enslaver. My book costs like $20. And I also have a website, literally lifewithinher.com.
Go make sure you get that now. And we are ending We're rounding towards the end of our broadcast. We have a couple of people more to bring in with you, and then we are going to wrap for the day because we need to go rub shoulders too. You think you're the only one that's going to get this opportunity? We need it too. Stay tuned. We are running hot today with all this energy. I'm so honored to be joined by two people who have just hosted a powerful session on art and faith. Reverend Harry and Lisa S., thank you today for joining us.
Jason, pleasure to be here. Thank you for having us.
Hey, the pleasure is all mine. I'm not going to get tired of saying that, but you guys are probably going to get tired of hearing me say it. Now, in your workshop, you used painting to help people connect with their faith and process pain. For someone whose trauma has made them feel abandoned by faith, how can art serve as a bridge back to the sense of spiritual connection?
So I do a step-by-step painting class, and that really points to them to move forward, to not get all stuck and and held back in their emotions, they can just let go, trust the process, and get through it. And that's kind of how life is, right? You've got
Right.
all these things that hold you back, all these baggage that everybody comes in with aces and what have you. So with art, in order to keep moving forward and not get so caught up in the little details, see the big picture and move forward, that's how the art comes in. And then that will come into the healing.
I like that. See the big picture is your ultimate message, but you are painting the picture.
Exactly.
I love it. My book discusses the sealed off room. How do you see faith and artistic expression as elemental tools that help us gently open the door to the room and let the light in without feeling flooded?
So when we have traumatic experiences in our life, there are voices that we hear regularly, the voices of anxiety and incompetence and the anger. I came from a family that was prescription drug abusers, both my parents. There was sexual abuse on the part of my grandparents. And those voices, that chaos continues to tear away your own self-esteem. For me, on my own personal journey, it was the power of God's grace through the church that was always that safe place, sanctuary, that was the hand of God around me and my sister, helping us and leading us and guiding us. And we came up with the idea to combine our session with the art and the faith, because when somebody signs up to do the painting, they bring all their own baggage, whether it's about their trauma or it's about their inner artist. I could never paint this picture. They walk in, they see her beautiful picture as a sample up there, and they say, how am I going to do that? Mine's not going to look like that at the end. And if they're in their head, if they're hearing their own voices, if they're hearing their negativity,
those swarming pests,
exactly, they won't hear it. But the more they listen to her voice and her gentleness and her humor as she leads them through it, and she tells them, take a step back, let go of yourself, don't think about it. And then she'll take their painting and walk it away. See, it doesn't look so bad. The more she speaks, the more they listen, the freer it gets, the more the trust is there, and then the artwork comes out of them. And we connect that then, I believe, one of the most powerful antidotes to those adverse childhood experiences that we go through can be the voice of God through the gifts of the church. That in the midst of all the things that tear us apart, in church language, we talk about sin, whether it's original sin that we're born with, that comes through our ancestors, or it's the sin we actually commit. The voice of God in Christ Jesus is the voice constantly saying to us, I still love you. I am with you always. I care for you so much that I've given my son to die and rise for you. And as a result of that, the more we allow that voice of God to speak to us, the more those inner voices and the chaos and the negativity and the anxiety begins to let go and trust more in God.
Wow. Now, in my book, I speak about that too. When you have the swarming pests, you kind of have to manage them and, if need be, repurpose them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I never thought of it the way you did, in needing to replace your voice with someone else's. That is an amazing message. Now, beyond the act of painting, what is one tangible practice your ministry teaches people to help them connect their healing journey with their spiritual beliefs?
Forgiveness is at the heart of it. And sometimes you have to first forgive yourself for not being what you pictured and thought your life should be. And we all have those dreams when we're asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And then life is much different than those answers that we gave back then. And so the idea of being able to forgive ourselves, and also those people or things that have been the traumatic experiences that have made us who we are, there comes a point, I think, especially if it's a faith journey, where you stop hiding in the shame of it, and you start embracing that even in the midst of the pain and the trauma, things were at work. I believe it's God, right? And God's grace to make you who you are. And when you come through the other side of those things and you realize you're okay, you're survived, and then you get to a point where the anger begins to dissipate and you let go of the bitterness. And the more you can talk to people about that pain, you then go from being the one needing the healing to becoming a vessel of healing for others because of your authenticity and your transparency. And the grace of God in the church and the power of forgiveness takes off our shield and that defense that we have, where we always have to be right. We always have to be perfect. There's nothing more disarming than acknowledging you're imperfect, you're wrong, you messed up, you made a mistake, and you're sorry. And that's the beginning, I think, of growth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's powerful. And gently opening the door, that is a beautiful way to think about everything. Now, before we let you guys go, because I know you guys are busy, you have a bunch of things that you're doing, I want you guys to spread your message to the masses. We have a lot of people that have been watching all day that couldn't be here with us in Longwood, but we are a community, not just physical, but in digital outreach as well. So if you guys can speak to this camera right here, let the people know where they can find you and what your message is.
So I am the pastor of St. Stephen Lutheran Church in Longwood, Florida, ststephen.org. You can find it on the website. And I've written about my ACEs, my adverse childhood experiences, in a book called Sanctuary, Raw Confessions of One of God's Imperfect Servants, Harry Schenkel, Schenkel. You can find it on Amazon. And also I recorded an audio version of the book that you could find on Audible. It tells the story of not only my childhood, but going through a divorce as a Lutheran pastor, how my oldest son, as he was becoming a teenager, was coming to terms with the fact that he was gay, and how the hand of God through all that and the church has continued to be my sanctuary and my safe place. And Lisa does her work through her art, and she's going to talk about that.
Yeah, so you can take my classes. I come to you. I will travel to resorts, Airbnbs, your homes, even if you want to paint on the beach. Paint with Lisa is my Instagram, and you can message me through that. One word, just Paint with Lisa. Thanks.
Thank you both for sharing your light with us. That was amazing.
Thank you, Jason.
We'll be right back with you. That was powerful. Their messages, Ketia, the Reverend, his wife, their messages were powerful, and they tie perfectly into the next steps of the talking junk sorting cycle. We've talked about identifying the junk. Now let's talk about the hard work of sorting and naming it. This is the toughest part. You have to connect the rage, that immediate explosion, to the core belief or trauma, that story that's fueling it. You have to learn to ask, what lie am I believing right now? You're the detective. You have to name the wound before you clean it. Now, you need to toss and repurpose things, right? You don't get rid of the feeling, you change. It's output. You take that raw passion and you repurpose it. You turn it into art, advocacy, or purpose, a purposeful movement. My eyes are failing me right now. but I will not fail you. I'm going to keep going. Because you yourself, like I'm doing right now, you need to turn your pain into poetry, not poison. You got to keep it clean, right? We talked about all 4 steps of keeping it clean, the trauma that creates the spiral wounds. The counter you need is sanctuary, art, music, faith. They're all elemental tools that create a bridge back to connection. They help you gently open the sealed off room and let in the community. Community is structural maintenance for your mental apartment. Now, we just finished the whole junk shorting cycle right there. On here, on air. And before we land this plane, I have to give a massive, massive shout out to the incredible people who made this day possible. Thank you to every single speaker who stepped onto the stage and couch. Anthony, Michael, Gene, Terrace, Ketia, Reverend, everybody that just came and gave their input for you, because you can't be here. So we need to make sure that we can get this message to the communities that aren't physical, that aren't in walking, driving, or speaking distance. Now, we armed our audience with real tools to give them a huge, so please give them a huge round of applause. Give yourselves a huge round of applause too for sticking with it. I know it's not easy to take all of this information in and apply it, but that's why we're here. This event was meant to stage these moments for your viewing pleasure from here until the end of time. Now for the secret ingredient to this whole production. A huge thank you to Leslie Gray Photography. Leslie, thank you. All right. You guys didn't just take pictures. You captured the agency in action. Thank you for this amazing, never before seen production on the Talking Junk Network. This has been the biggest eye opener. And I guarantee you, because of you, my viewers are going to beg for a better production every week. And finally, I was going to get a chance to sit down with the visionary who made this entire summit possible, the Chief Visionary Officer of Aces Matter, Cindy Stanford. But as you can imagine, this is a big event and it takes a lot of presence, and her presence is being stretched beyond her limits right now, beyond. So we are just going to close everything out. So for Cindy and the SoulÜtion Summit, I thank you for being a true junk guru of your community. We're honored to be partners in every mission together. Everyone, please, please think of everything you've heard today, the science, the stories, your trash toolkit. But this is the tough love part. Information without implementation is just expensive clutter. Let's clear the communication pathways with our final 2 tools: effective communication and setting boundaries. These are the skills that protect the healing you started today. You need the full manual. My book, Shut the Junk Up, is the deep dive blueprint for everything we covered today. It is your guide to permanently evicting those unwanted tenants and finally becoming the empowered landlord of your own mental apartment. We had a limited run of copies for sale right here today. So if you're here and you're watching, first off, why didn't you come in here and say hi? Second, please grab one of these books, because if you haven't got yours yet, if you haven't got yours yet, what are you waiting for? This book is the difference between knowing the tools and mastering the flame. The conversation does not stop here. The Talking Junk podcast is where we keep this going live every single week. Thank you, SoulÜtion Summit, for being here, for being open, and for being ready to take out the trash. You all have been amazing. Go out there and start gaining agency over your anger today. Enjoy the rest of this incredible day. And remember, we love you. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to Talking Junk.